I'm back with another video. Today we're gonna be after two Moist Critical. This job is so weird. Let's get straight into it.
Learned about a job that I would have never imagined would actually exist, let alone be successful. A baby name consultant. That is a real profession right now.
Some expecting parents aren't coming up with names on their own. They're hiring baby name consultants. Can you believe?
I didn't think I heard him right. That sounded so stupid. I didn't wait. You know what? It's working. It's not stupid. It's not. It's working. He just said it's working.
Believe such a thing exists?
Some parents turning, unbelievable, to naming consultants on platforms like TikTok to help them find the perfect fit.
The baby naming industry has sort of blown up.
Colleen Slagan owns Naming Baby. She charges between $250 to $400 for her consultations and business.
Y'all paying for baby name? Yo, you know what? I'm not gonna downplay it. You know what? I'm not a pregnant lady, so I'm just not gonna downplay it. But you know,
is booming.
Charging 250 to 400 doubloons for some names. I spit that
yeah. That it's just crazy, but you know what? We're not in their shoes, as they say. You know, it's their money, their choice. You know, do whatever you want, I guess. It's just so stupid. It's just so stupid to me, though. Like, I'd even despise the fact of looking names up on TikTok for your child.
Shit out for free every time I create a character in Dark Souls. I love how she refers to it as a baby naming industry. They found a way to monetize just giving name suggestions. You can do that for free.
That's what I'm
like, ask ChatGPT if you really get desperate, or you can just Google names right now and get an infinite list of it without paying.
Right. You know what? I prefer the TikTok way that they said, even though that way is kind of stupid too. Because why do you need to get names off TikTok? But I guess if you're really at that point, I won't judge you for the TikTok names. But paying for baby names is crazy. That's the same thing as the other dudes that was paying for them out. You know what? I'm not
paying a penny to pay hundreds of dollars for a list of names is absolute insanity to me. She justifies it by saying she spends hours on personalizing and customizing the suggestions, so for $250 you get 10 suggestions.
Who's giving people these money? You know what? Who's giving these people this money to do this stuff? If it's their only money, I get. You know what? It's up to you. But if someone's paying for this stuff for them, stop doing it. Stop doing it, bro.
Suggestions for 400, you get 30. And from what I've seen, her suggestions are just normal names. It's not like she's creating fucking brand new vocab words here. She's not speaking in the language of the gods or anything, bestowing upon your newborn this powerful title.
What are reviews like? What are reviews like?
Or anything. It's just like standard names like Olivia or Liam or Phil. Like, it's nothing crazy. Like, yes, she'll like personalize it based on some of the things like the couple will say to her, like, hey, my wife really likes flowers and I really love boar's head.
Imagine they did this and it was only like bad names like Capri Sun or something.
Pickles. And then she'll come back and be like, okay, well, name your daughter Daffodil or Sprout or Sunflower, and you can name your son Dill. Like, it's nothing super interesting or unique, and it's certainly not worth hundreds of dollars.
Really not.
Why is a name so important?
You know, it's the first choice you're making as a parent. It's the first sort of piece of identity you're giving to your child. And a lot of parents, like, they're looking for...
I just think of her as fake as hell. Because does she believe what she's saying? She don't believe what she's saying. She's lying. She's lying. I don't know.
Something really specific.
Obviously, a name is extremely important, but I feel like I'm boofing crazy pills here, because why would you be paying hundreds of dollars for...
I feel like it's important because you named them, right? Like, it's something that comes from you. Just don't make it weird. But
someone else to name your child for you, basically. They are basically the ones that are just giving you this list that you choose from, and you probably feel obligated at that point, since you spent money on it, to just settle on one of those names. That doesn't seem like a recipe for success.
Right.
Holly and Eric Stein own a postpartum meal delivery service and are expecting baby number 3 at the end of August.
I don't think I even knew something like this existed.
They've been struggling to find a name that will sound good with their 2 kids, Rory and Blair. They hired Colleen and now have a top few to choose from, but are waiting until baby's arrival to make a final decision.
It was obvious that she had put a lot of thought into this, and they all went with the vibe that we were looking for.
At the end of the day, it's their money. They can throw it in the toilet.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm looking at them. He just said exactly what was on my mind, bro. I was just looking at them, and I'm like, you know what? It's their money, their choice. It's their money, their choice. Like, I'm just looking at them. Okay.
However they want. I'm not going to break into their house and slap the dollar bills out of their hand before giving it to a baby naming consultant or anything. But to me, it just seems like a real symptom of how everything...
Yeah, most of these scam things, like even with the what he was doing, the alpha male camp things, I don't really feel bad for him because at the end of the day, they come out satisfied somehow. I don't know how, but they come out satisfied with what they did with their money, so who cares?
Needs to be monetized, and that's becoming more and more normalized. How even something as simple as just name suggestions is all of a sudden a massive business at this point. That's just so fucking dystopian to me.
Namer.
I'll go ahead and break the magician's code here and reveal some great names for free. If there's any expecting couples out there, please feel free to...
Xavier. I'll hit y'all with one right now.
Use these. There's no royalties on them. Copyright free, no trademarks. A name that I've been really defaulting to recently is Jerichomo. It's a name that's derived from...
Don't name your kid that. Don't name your kid that. Don't name your kid that. Do not name your kid... Bro. Please.
A very strong source, my buddy Aaron. He came up with this name, and I think it just sounds really fucking cool, so I think Jerichomo is a really great choice. Another one that I've always really appreciated is Avagantimos.
No. Stop putting... No. Somebody actually calls their kids this because of you playing... Stop, bro. No. No. Bro, no. What did you just... Bro, no.
Very strong source, my buddy Aaron. He came up with this name, and I think it just sounds really fucking cool, so I think Jerichomo is a really great choice. Another one that I've always really appreciated is Avagantimos. It was a name that I came up with on the spot a long time ago when playing a horror game called Penumbra, which could also serve as a cool name. Penumbra sounds awesome.
Okay, he has to be trolling. He has to be trolling. These are
like a cool Pokemon, you know? But yeah, Avagantimos makes it sound like some kind of ancient gladiator. There's also Geth, which I think is a really cool sounding name from Mass Effect. If you've played Mass Effect, that name will have even more meaning for you. Mass Effect 3's base ending was absolutely atrocious, but it doesn't mean that the name Geth is sullied in any way. Plus, the DLC did help with the Mass Effect 3 ending anyway.
Where's this going? Wait, how did this go here? Wait, we were talking about... Wait. How did this go to the DLC of a game that I don't know?
Could be a strong option. There's also Glarb, which is a frog in Magic the Gathering from their new set Bloomburrow, and Glarb...
I just will never trust you on names, I guess. That's just the whole thing here. I don't gotta say anything else about these names. I just won't trust them on names.
Sounds great. There's Bilgist, which is something I made up right now, and I'm recognizing that that's probably not a strong choice. Your kid will absolutely be subjected to bullying.
None of them are a strong choice.
And being made fun of for that, so don't go with Bilgist. But all the other options I listed, those are cool.
No,
and I
they're
didn't
not.
charge you a penny for those. She provided examples on her website about how a consultation kind of goes. So after you fork over a few $100, this is kind of what you can expect. You'll send her a message kind of going over the situation, all of the lore. So in the example here, they explain that they're not loving any of the names they've brainstormed for baby number 2, the sequel. They have a daughter named Lola. There's a couple names they're considering, like Killian, Otto, Merrick, etc. And for the most part, they're not nickname people. They kind of want more uncommon names. That's basically the gist of it. Colleen then takes in all this information and starts computing. She gives her opinion on the names they're considering, as well as giving...
It's just the fact, I'm looking at this and it seems like they're satisfied. That's the part that's really getting me. Like, they're satisfied with the service. Like, okay. That's crazy.
Them her impression of their style. So she says their style feels very vintage, timeless, and ahead of the trends, and that she gets a guy in the beanie at the coffee shop, old soul kind of vibe. Which honestly almost sounds like an insult. Those sound like fighting words. I'm surprised an argument wouldn't break out in this example here. Like, what do you mean? That's not my vibe at all. But then she gives her perspective on the names that were vetoed. And all in all, it basically just kind of plays out like taking an old BuzzFeed quiz. Like, it doesn't really have anything super useful here. It's just her kind of just saying about the names and the impression she gets. Then she gives her name suggestions, and I'll go over a couple of them. So
Damn, she wrote a lot. Like, goddamn.
She said that the common denominator between all of their names is that they are uncommon. So she tried to keep that in mind and then came up with Jennings. I'll go ahead and take the liberty of vetoing that one on behalf of the couple. That feels like it's the polar fucking opposite of the vibe they were looking for. Jennings sounds like a butler. That sounds like someone Bruce Wayne...
The other thing was kind of, you know, more... Yeah, I don't even know how to explain it, because the way she explained it was not to my comprehension.
Would have hired for a minute if Alfred went on vacation. She then goes on to try and explain why she came up with that name and says that it feels related to Jameson, but a little more unique and a little...
You know what, for the rest of this video, we're just not going to wrap our head around, like, you know, maybe y'all have already wrapped your head around it, but I just haven't wrapped my head around how, you know, she spent that much money for a baby name. But, you know what? We're just going to throw that out the window. Fuck it.
Less preppy. Completely disagree. That sounds like one of the preppiest names you can have. She then says that she thinks Lola and Jennings both have the cool factor and make a great sibling set. Whatever that mumbo jumbo means. Her next suggestion was Briggs or Brig. She then says that it's another surname that reminds her of Banks, but a little less Mighty Duck. It feels like a fresh...
My head hurts, bro. My head hurts listening to this, bro. Oh my lord. Holy. Okay.
Take on Brooks, which is getting quite popular. I knew a kid growing up named Brig, Hard G, which I actually like better, though more likely to be mispronounced. Surnames that end in an S have a slightly preppy feel, but Briggs also brings a lot of Western feel to add a little grunge to that prep. I like how she says that names that end in an S have a slightly preppy feel, and her previous suggestion was a name that ended in S and said that it felt less preppy. So that feels like a bit of a contradiction there, but I'm not a...
Bro, I'm just saying she's, you know, we ain't got nothing to say about
professional baby namer. Maybe I'm just not familiar with the subtleties and the nuance.
Yeah, we gotta make like a lot of new discoveries with ourselves after this one, because my head hurts.
Consultancy.
I'm not even trying. I don't want to understand anything she's talking about anymore. This is legit. No.
Example ends with her giving a couple other names like Hugo and Remy, and closing by saying, I hope that this baby name consultation has given you some food for thought and either helps you feel more sure of one of the names on your list or has given you some new ideas to consider. Happy naming. I'm guessing this is where the communication ends? Like, this is where they cease contact? I'm not really sure how this works, but I was looking up if you get a refund if you don't like any of the names that she suggests, or if you can request additional names for no extra charge if you just didn't like any of the first batch. And I can't find anything on that. I don't know if I'm just missing it on her...
Oh, yeah, they got you. Oh, yeah, they got you. Okay, they got you.
Website, it's kind of set up in a weird way. But just imagine paying $250 for 10 names and you don't like any of them. What a huge, colossal waste of cash right there. I feel like you should be able to give your input on it and see if like maybe you two can come together and iron out like the perfect name. Because hoo-wee, if you're paying $400...
I thought that you was at least talking on the phone. Like I was like having a conversation of like which name you would pick. They send you 10 names on the computer? That's even worse. That's even... Oh, God, Lee, you could have... He was serious when he said you could have just looked that up on Google. Like, you could have dead serious just looked up names on Google. Like, that would have been way better.
I would expect that you and Colleen here would really work hard to pinpoint that motherfucking name. That's
right.
A lot of money to get suggestions that maybe you don't even like. So... I can't find any information on what happens if you don't like the names, but I still think that this job is such a weird one.
Right.
This is something people do for free and should be free. You're just asking for naming suggestions. Why are you going to be charging hundreds of dollars for that? But anyway, just had to talk about this a bit. That's it. See ya.
All right, y'all. I will see y'all in the next video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and peace out.